Goodness. Oh my gosh, we're live. Let's get this thing going. Monday. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the pregame show.
Let's go.
Presented as always by Bet365. Never ordinary. Little three-man action today. That's not ordinary. This is a trio we haven't seen in a while.
The three-man weave.
The three-man weave, indeed. Also presented by Miller Time. You know what? Miller Time is Murray Time. Is it Murray Time tonight?
No, it's not.
Oh, it's still Miller Time, though, fortunately.
He's ducking, man.
He is ducking G.G. Jackson?
Brendan Vogt.
Oh, there you go. He's ducking Brendan Vogt. On today's show, it's the 3-year anniversary of the Aaron Gordon trade.
Yes.
It's been a pretty good 3 years.
Not bad.
I remember
Not
that
bad at all.
celebration.
We'll look back on that, talk about what it's meant to the Nuggets. Also, a betting scandal in the NBA.
What?
And it involves a relative of a Denver Nugget.
Oh,
You'll never guess who it is unless you look at the right sidebar. And then later in the show, we're going to be listening to Dev's advice and gambling on this game, trying to make some bets that win us money. To help me out, I got Brennan.
The second time in a row you've done this. Should just not even show up to the show anymore.
Harrison Wind is here.
Guys, happy to be here. Excited for Nuggets Grizzlies. We were just at Buffalo Wild Wings. Shout out. Just devoured a bunch of wings, so I'm ready to go.
It's true. We are all winged up.
Yeah.
And then over there, look at that shirt. What would you call that? Like a sweater?
Sure. I would not call that a sweater.
Superstar Dev.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm not as excited for this game as I am about other games. But then I found out that there's people not playing in this one, so now it becomes exciting because Denver is like number 1 in the West or something like that. Every game
I heard they're
matters.
number 1, yeah.
Every game matters now, so I am excited again. Let's get to it.
I'm excited for this. I was thinking about this as we were driving over. I was thinking about Yoke to me is a majority of the excitement. So if he's in, I'm excited. If we get to see him tonight, I'm excited. Let's get to the game notes to find out.
Well, Nikola Jokic, he is in the lineup. He is playing.
Let's go!
Yes, sir.
He was listed as questionable coming into this one. Missed the game in Portland, obviously. Back pain. Something with his leg as well. But he is playing, good to go. Also, Michael Porter Jr. playing as well. Popped up on the injury report middle of the day today with an illness, but he is playing. Jamal and Aaron Gordon, though, are out. So Jamal Murray missing his second straight game with that ankle. And then Aaron Gordon is out as well. His injury is right plantar fascia strain.
I hate that, but I'm also going to not stress about it. We thought that the Nuggets were going to rotate, taking times off. Yep, Murray has the ankle thing, so that makes sense. Aaron Gordon, to me, this feels like a load management game.
It does as well. He's been dealing with some stuff all season. I feel like he could obviously play tonight if this was a playoff game, but they're holding him out.
He looked okay in the last game, Dev, when he was dunking everything and guarding the entire team.
Played well.
Yeah, that's usually what happens. But also, that's why you feel good about it being load management or just hoping that it's nothing serious, especially this late in the season.
Yeah. The one starter who was not on the injury report, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, the Iron Man, he is playing, but that pinky's still bothering him. Michael Malone said pregame, though, the amount of game-winning plays that he makes, that's got to be celebrated more by me and by everybody.
I like it. I think he's right. Although we have been celebrating him a lot this year.
He also does get a defensive player of the game chain after every game.
That's so true. He earns it, man.
Yeah.
Who's he going to guard tonight? I don't even know. Have you seen the starting lineup?
I'll tell you who he's going to guard. Desmond Bane.
He's in?
Who is available and playing for the Grizzlies tonight.
Man, that makes this way harder.
I think this is his second or maybe third game back, but he missed a bunch of time with injury. He's back in the lineup now. Also for Memphis, Jake LaRavia, Lamar Stevens available. Brandon Clark, John Conchar, Vince Williams are out for the Grizzlies.
This is a scary team, man.
They got Jaren Jackson, too, who's playing. They at least have a couple competent players as opposed to that Trailblazers team the other night.
But they haven't beat anybody. If you look at it, I think they beat Portland 2 games. I think that's like the only games they've won in the last 3 weeks or so.
They've lost 4 out of their last 5. That one win was against the Spurs.
Oh, against the Spurs. But they haven't beat
Their win before that was against the Wizards.
Yeah, that's right. So they haven't beaten anybody good, but at the same time they have been down some guys who are now back.
Yep.
I don't know. We're getting whiplash because what do you have on Wednesday? The Phoenix Suns. Okay, that's a big time game. You know, that's always rivalry. Friday, you got the biggest one, Minnesota Timberwolves. That one's going to be big. So this game feels like it's the Portland game again, but it's not. This will be a much more difficult challenge than the Portland one, Dev.
Yeah, and also it sucks that everyone's coming back. Like, they have a little bit more to play for. I think that Grizzlies have packed it up without having John Morant. That's just something to look to. But now that you bring Desmond Bane back, they have something that they could try to go for. And also, you're going against the number 1 team out west. You got to try to sell some tickets still. You still have to try to, get people in those seats. So I think that this is a game that they'll try to win. Like, they really will.
Grizzlies starters, got them right here. Desmond Bane, Gigi Jackson, Scottie Pippen Jr.
Wow, that's wild.
Santi Aldama and Jaren Jackson.
Man,
And I got the Nuggets starters right here as well. Nikola Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., Reggie Jackson, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and Christian Brown at the 3.
What an interesting starting lineup this is.
Very interesting. Typically, this is Justin Holiday in the starting lineup for the Nuggets.
Yeah.
It's Christian Brown tonight.
Why do you think that is?
Maybe to reward Christian for how he played that last game.
Could be.
He might have played his best game of the season against Portland.
Yeah.
Maybe a little reward, keep his confidence high.
I think it's to maximize that potential and just consistency. He's playing well right now, and you want him to feel good, especially going into the playoffs. You also just openly talked about the fact that he's one of the only people that is in the playoff rotation.
Right.
You definitely have to reward him after that. And it also, it's like a little bit of a nudge, hey, other people need to get in line. Other people need to play better. We're rewarding another guy that just played good. Maybe you should too.
Yeah. Do you think it would have been a little weird if after naming Reggie Jackson and Christian Brown the only locks off the bench, if for the playoff rotation he just starts Justin Holiday?
It's the real person.
That doesn't really compute.
So here's the interesting thing here. Santi Aldama and Jaren Jackson.
Yeah. Big front line.
Big front court. And also, it feels like a Rui adjustment game. Doesn't it? I don't know if they're going to do this, but it feels like a Santi Aldama on Jokic and then Jaren Jackson come over and try to block shots.
The Rui adjustment.
The Rui adjustment.
Yes.
But Michael Porter at the 4.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. That's lights out, man, if you try that one. And if you reverse it.
Then maybe is he on Christian Brown?
Ooh, that's an interesting one.
Yeah,
that would be a
'cause you
very
could
smart.
leave him like
you're right.
You leave Aaron Gordon.
This would be a good test. If that's the case, it would be a good test for Christian Brown tonight. Like, hey, man, in the playoffs, you might get 1 or 2 threes in a row that you just have to step up and shoot with confidence. So that part at least is a little bit interesting. And I wouldn't even be surprised, honestly, if Jaren Jackson just guards Yoke.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the bigger bodied guy. But if that happens, Dev, you know what I'm counting on? 15 Jokic free throws. Jaren Jackson fouls Jokic a lot. He fouls him out every time.
Yeah, he's barbecue chicken with him. Every single time. It's Jokic just eating. And also, you don't do that to your defensive guy. Put him on an island with Jokic and just let him get destroyed because it does something to you mentally.
You
Trust
think?
me. I've seen those Utah Jazz games when Gobert used to get cooked. It does something to you. Anthony Davis isn't the same against Europeans.
That's so true, man. Oh, you're right. Joke beat AD down so bad that now he's losing to all Euros.
Every European.
Wow. That's rough. I didn't think of it, but I think it's true.
The last game note I have, Micah Malone was asked what he wants to see from Peyton Watson tonight. And, there's been some discussion around Peyton Watson. He was left out of the quote-unquote locks.
That's true.
To be in the playoff rotation
Man, I didn't notice that. Yeah, how weird.
Michael Malone had a very short answer to this question.
Oh, wow.
He said, go out there and play your game, play hard, period.
You know what, though, man? Here's the thing. I love Peyton. I love him. I love the dude. Malone's right.
Yep.
Malone is so good at this because he is standing on firm ground. He's standing on business. He's standing on firm ground. He could actually go out there and say that because it's true. Yeah. Peyton Watson needs to use these last, what do we have left, 12 games? 11 games. Use these last 11 games to see if he can go balls to the wall. Every single one of them. And if he does that, guess what? He'll be back in the circle of trust.
Michael Malone doesn't hide sometimes he just doesn't hide anything with his answers. This one, you know exactly where his head's at with this. I love a super short answer.
I love that it's short because it makes it sound like, look, guys, it's not complicated. I'm not asking him to do this stuff. Play hard.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Dev? Is this fair? Are we being too critical on P. Watt's energy and effort level?
No, I mean, it's the head coach that's calling you out openly. And also, he's doing it before we get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like, he wants you to prove yourself before you get to that point because it might be too late. You have some time to, like, build some type of rhythm, try to, like, win them over. And also, you have been on the other side of this. You've been a guy that he has rewarded, that he's openly discussed of playing well and having that energy, and he wants you to just build on those type of habits. We've seen this with Michael Malone with every single player that he's had. So, like, it doesn't go around you. So, like, you just have to step up to the plate and just take responsibility for it.
So Christian Braun only has one start this season, right? The Nuggets won that game. So this is a new starting lineup for the Nuggets. It should make for an interesting one. All right, it's time for Ask Circle K. Who's going to eat? Dev, who's eating tonight?
The player that eats in this game, it's Christian Braun.
Really?
Yeah, you go right back to the well there. He's playing well, and he's a guy that can play with rhythm. Like, when he gets momentum and he gets it going, like, it's tough to slow him down just because of what he brings to the table. Energy, playing hard, and now he's going to be able to start. I think we're going to see double that energy. We're going to see a guy that's just, like, ready for the moment, and your coach backed him. All players play well when their coach backs them. So I think that he has a really good game, and also I think he has a favorable matchup on the other side.
Do you know what Christian Braun's shooting from three right now?
What is it?
37?
37%.
Boom.
It's higher than Bruce Brown shot last year. That's higher than Nikola Jokic is shooting from three this year.
Wow.
He's hot right now.
He's hot.
And that percentage has gone up, a bunch the last couple weeks.
I love it. I'd love for CB to eat tonight. What about you, Wind?
I'm going to take Reggie Jackson to eat tonight. And I think this game sets up pretty similarly to, the Portland game.
Mm-hmm.
Starting at point guard, it's a role I think he's a little better in than coming off the bench. And he's also playing with Yoke tonight.
That's true.
In Portland, he was playing with DeAndre Jordan. So he's going to get even more open shots. He's going to have even more lanes to get down into the paint, more potential assists. So I think this is a game he can go off in. And, look at his matchup. He's playing against Scottie Pippen Jr.
Yeah, that is true. That's a good point. I'm going to take Michael Porter Jr. Didn't have a great outing this last game. Playing tonight with Yoke and no Murray.
Yeah.
I think there's two scenarios here, and we might actually get both of them. One is that he plays extended minutes with Yoke. Obviously, he's going to start. I do worry about the Reggie piece of this. It's possible he just doesn't touch the ball a whole lot in those minutes. So do you stagger and leave MPJ with Jokic and take Reggie out, and then Reggie runs a bench unit as the guy? Or do you stagger MPJ and let him run with the bench? In either scenario, I like him eating tonight. I think he has a good bounce-back game. I don't think he likes having these bad games, bad shooting nights. Tonight he's going to get a lot of good looks. I think he's going to make a lot of them, and I'll bet you he has a big night, and we're back to talking about the heater he's on.
You expect him to be guarded by Jake LaRavia and Aldama?
It could be. It's got to be one of those guys.
It might be both.
It might be both.
That's a way that you really can go off. Like, those are not the type of guys that should be slowing down Michael Porter Jr., especially with the scandal. Never mind.
We'll get to that in a second. What scandal? Hold on a second. Guys, it's the 3-year anniversary. Harrison Wind brings to my attention, it is the 3-year anniversary now of the Aaron Gordon trade. He's been in Denver for 3 years. I did the math, fellas. They've won 67% of the games that he has played. That's a 55-win pace since he's arrived.
Wow.
And remember that one of those full seasons was down 2 of Denver's starting 5, and
That's
Michael Porter and Jamal Murray. And yet they went 19-6 with him that first year, 46-29, 45-23, 45-20 in games he was active. That's awfully freaking good. This trade to me, when it's all said and done, the Aaron Gordon trade, like when the book is written on the Jokic era Nuggets by Harrison Wind, when the book is written, I think that if not the first chapter, the end of like the prologue will be Aaron Gordon's trade to Denver. I feel like that's the start of really this era.
Well, it's the start of when things really got serious, it feels like.
Yeah.
Because the Nuggets were a great team. They had the playoff run in 2019, but it was pretty obvious that that wasn't going to be the team to get over the top to win a championship. And when they traded for Aaron Gordon, and if you ask people around the Nuggets, I think if you even ask us, the game that most people point to when they thought that team with Aaron Gordon could win a championship
Clippers
was when they beat the Clippers.
Yep.
I think it was Aaron Gordon's third game as a Nugget. It was early on.
Yep.
It was clear right away that he was the perfect piece. He was even better of a fit than I think most people thought he would be. And, you know, from that point on, I think everybody just thought championship.
Yeah.
And I don't think that was quite the case before that trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 1972, there was United California's bank robbery, and also there was Pierre Hotel.
Yep.
These were two of United States' greatest heists.
Okay.
Aaron Gordon trade comes in at number 3.
That's the third greatest heist in American history.
Third greatest
Wow.
heist.
Is that on Wikipedia?
Yes.
I'm just looking this up, man. I'm just looking this type of stuff
We
up.
all remember the first
We've
two,
been
but-
smiling ever since then.
Yeah.
We cannot believe that they got away with this. This is, I mean, it changed the trajectory of like what the Nuggets look like. They don't have a championship without this day happening, you know, years ago. He's like a huge part of the organization, a huge part of history, and he brought a championship to the city. Like, we can also give that to him as well. And it's just like a perfect match, and it just continues to grow and continues to get better. So yeah, this was a big day in history.
It's crazy how good of a fit he was on the basketball court, and then made himself into an even better fit, which is a story in and of itself, that this is a guy that came here and accepted a role. People didn't think, would he even try to be in that role? And then not only try to be in that role, but then perfected, like elevated his game, worked on skills so that he could maximize that, wanted to get smarter, all of those things. That alone is a phenomenal story. But culturally, what AG has meant to the team and just to like our personal fanhood enjoyment of it, becoming Mr. Nugget was not a thing that I expected to happen.
Not at all.
If that trade happened, we lost Mr. Nugget.
Right.
We gave up Mr. Nugget and we got Aaron Gordon, and now he's got to fit in. And all of a sudden, what do you know? Here we are a few years later, and he is like the quintessential Mr. Nugget. The cultural impact he's had and the way he has fit into this team's identity, but also vibed with the city so hard that in his euphoric post-championship state, he shirtlessly wandered into a crowd, a mob of people. It's like he, to me, is... It's not just that they won a title, it's that they won it with him. And it was we love Millsap, we love some of the guys that have come before. He's so much more of a
Paul
vibe.
Millsap isn't going shirtless through the streets of Denver.
He's
after
definitely
a
not.
championship.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah. I mean, it's been an incredible fit. And what's funny is, if you remember back to when this trade was made at the 2021 trade deadline, it's not like Aaron Gordon was that wanted of a man. There were 3 teams, if you remember, that
Who were they?
were actually interested in him. That's it. It was Portland, it was Boston, and it was Denver.
Oh, Boston.
And it came down to actually Boston or Denver.
Man.
Those are the only 2 teams that wanted Aaron Gordon enough to, you know, throw in a first-round draft pick, and a quote-unquote prospect. For Denver was R.J. Hampton. For Boston,
That's the wildest part of all
I think it was
this.
Aaron Naismith at the time. But that was it. It's not like a lot of teams out there looked at Aaron Gordon as a potential missing piece. Denver did, and it was obviously the perfect fit.
And I honestly think, like, even if you talk to the people at that time, they thought he was really good, and he even surpassed their expectations. So it was one of those
100%.
things. Just a quintessential perfect pick. And AG is such a vibe for this team. I hope he is on it always. I just hope we get to ride out this era with
lifetime
him.
contract.
Lifetime contract. Another top story here, less fun. Jontay Porter finds himself in the news today. A betting scandal. We knew this was coming eventually. I don't know if you guys have noticed sports betting everywhere in the NBA and really in all of professional sports, since it's become legalized state by state over the last handful of years. It's become more intertwined with the culture of the NBA, and you knew it was only a matter of time before betting scandals pop up. Shohei Ohtani, just this last week, finds himself in something of
it was just his interpreter.
Well, I'm sorry, just his interpreter,
Yeah,
not
get the
him.
facts right.
Get his facts. We'll find out if there's any more to that story. That's obviously way bigger than Jontay Porter, but Jontay Porter is the brother of one Michael Porter Jr. Also, by the way, I love Jontay Porter. I think he's a really good player. He's on this contract. He was in the G League. Now he's on this contract, and he is being investigated because twice this year, once on January 26th, and once on March 20th, just last week. According to DraftKings Sportsbook, the top winning bet in both days was a Jontay Porter prop bet. That's like, hold on, man.
That's a red flag. You don't have to be in the sports betting business to see that as a red flag.
0.53s was one of the bets, I believe. 0.53s. Can you imagine of all the bets, money lines, all this different stuff, the top bet is Jontay Porter 0.5.
That's like you putting down
Christian
1,000
Brown.
units on Christian Brown.
Can you imagine if I made a $20,000 bet or something on it?
Investigated, and it's really just this guy.
Somehow Christian Brown shoots 23 that day.
And then that night,
like,
it just
hold
happens.
on, wait, what?
So I want to get these out here. Just get some of the news out here.
Yeah.
So in both games, he left the game. He had like an injury going into it. One of them, illness, so he plays and then he comes out. And the other one, I think it was like an eye abrasion or something they say. And he plays and then comes out. So you look at that. You look at the fact that this giant prop bet came in for the most random player. And they're saying, we got to investigate. They're not saying he's guilty. They're saying we've got to investigate this because it's so abnormal. And I just want to say the one thing I want to put here, because I think accusations can be damning, and I don't think the NBA would have come out with this publicly unless they felt pretty good about it. I just don't think you want to like draw attention and then be like, oh, we investigated and it's actually perfectly fine.
Right. Like the NBA wouldn't let Woj attach Jontay Porter's name to this if there wasn't something.
And if they did, and all of a sudden it turns out there was nothing, I think
that'd be really bad.
Not only will it tarnish their name, because whether people will hear the initial story, not the result, right? Yeah. And so you don't want to do that. So I have to imagine that this is not good for Jontay Porter. But I'm also going to say that the NBA, this was inevitable. The NBA was going to have a moment like this. And I think Jontay Porter is the perfect guy for them to make an example of someone. Again, not falsely. I don't think they would do this to an innocent person. But if they found out, hey, it's very clear to players you're not supposed to be gambling. We have Jontay Porter, the brother of a very famous player, but also somebody that the NBA would deem replaceable. Like if we lost, it's not Shohei Ohtani where MLB, if they find this out, it's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We can't kick this guy out forever. Yeah. But Jontay, if he is found guilty, I think the NBA comes down extremely hard, lifetime ban, makes an example of him, removes his contract that he has already signed and been guaranteed from, and really sacrifices him to the dogs. And again, if it's true that he was involved in this, he'd have no one else but himself to blame.
We got to know Jontay Porter a little bit.
Love him.
2 summers ago.
He was on the
Nuggets Summer League team. He's a smart dude. Well read. Like his hobbies are like he likes to read and go to coffee shops. He does not seem like he's stupid enough to do this.
Not at all, man. He's like the weirdest player I would have guessed for this to happen.
I know. But in the report, I read it as Woj insinuating that he faked an injury to get out of these games and hit the unders.
Why would you even do that? First of all, Jontay's good enough to play in the NBA, but not good enough to be able to sit out games. You're like,
I know.
You got to maximize everything. This is the weirdest thing.
You're dropping your stock even worse than you expected doing things like that. My real question is like, which book has Jontay Porter prop bets?
I think the one that they mentioned in the article.
DraftKings.
I mean, I'm just saying, I've never seen it before.
You can't get Justin Holiday threes tonight?
Probably not. But also, like, it's Jontay Porter. Like, that's like further down the line than.
No, he plays. He's the backup.
I doubt you could get
Zeke Naji.
I doubt on DraftKings you could get Justin Holiday threes.
Well,
it's just that crazy. But like, why even bring that type of attention to yourself? They are going to make an example of him. And it sucks that it's him, but they should. If you want to say that this is a serious thing, especially when it comes to money, like people are involved. And I'm just going to tell you, if you make a Jontay Porter over bet, you need to call that number. You really do have a problem.
If you're putting it, this is why it was so obvious. I'm sure this is why this got caught. Was they're like, hold on a second, what are we betting? Somebody's betting all this money on Jontay Porter twice, 2 different times.
That's insane. I really do hope that it was not him. I really think that I hope that he was
like adjacent to him, like somebody, somebody, his best friend was doing this without his knowledge or something.
Yeah, like something like
he kept saying, "I'm sick tonight, man. I don't think I'm gonna even play. They're gonna make me play. I don't think I can."
Yeah,
I don't know. I hate this story, man. I hate it, and I feel for Michael Porter. And the only thing I'll say, and I feel weird putting it out there, I hope this has no wider ranging ripples. I hope there's no
of course.
teammates of Jontay's involved in this, no coaches involved in this, and certainly no relatives involved in this.
Please no.
Because that would be an absolute catastrophe. But enough about that. Let's open up the Bet365 Never Ordinary Sportsbook app and place our own very legal, non-compromise bets.
Yeah, we have a problem if we're betting on this, and we're going to do it. We're going to call that number after. This is a quick betting section. We only have 4 minutes left.
We got a little more than that.
The spread is 12.5. If everybody was playing, this would be the easiest bet. A lot of people are not playing. I would not take the 12.5. I just don't love it. It's just too high.
You can't touch that.
And then like Bane and all those. I wouldn't do it. I don't like it. Over under of 213.5. I would take the under. I don't think that this is a game that, for one, the Grizzlies don't want to get up and down. But Denver's going to be like with Reggie Jackson and Christian Brown and those type of. I don't think they're trying to push the pace, and also I think it's a little bit more defensive of a game. So I'm going to go under for that. For the threes bet, we already know what we have to start with.
Yes, we do.
Michael Porter Jr. and Justin Holiday, right? No, Michael Porter Jr. I'm going to go over 2.5 3-pointers because why would we not?
Can we buy this up?
Yeah, I think he has a monster game too. Let's go to 4.
4 threes.
I think we should
you can
do
get
4
plus 145.
We should do 4+. I do think that for sure the 2.5 is going to happen. I like that to happen.
You actually can get Justin Holiday threes.
Yeah.
Should we put 100,000 on it? Should we put 100,000 on
I don't want to incriminate Justin Holiday.
If we put we would get in trouble for that. They're going to say we have
Justin Holiday.
No, they're going to say we have insider information. If we put $100,000 on Justin Holiday,
unless it just misses, and then they're like, "Hold on a second."
Yeah, I mean that's crazy. I think that this is a game that. We didn't even go on their side of things. I think.
Come on,
Jaren Jackson Jr. points. I mean, points plus rebounds. Let's just
hold on a second. Why? Why him?
Jaren Jackson?
Yeah,
he's been playing well. He scores.
Really?
He's like the only person for them that can score. I know that they get Desmond Bane back, but weird. It could just happen. Yeah. I like Jokic rebounds against him. I think that he's going to grab every single rebound that comes his way.
14. The line is 14.5.
Yeah, because he's going to be the only one rebounding.
Wow.
I mean, you don't have Aaron Gordon down there to take rebounds. It's Michael Porter Jr., I think he will have rebounds. Let's take Michael Porter Jr. rebounds as well.
7.5. I like
7.5.
You know what? I actually have.
I also like Jokic assists. I mean, we've been up and down with this one all year, but I think this is a game that he's going to be able to get it going. So I like his assist at 9.5.
So you like a triple-double tonight?
Of course I like a triple-double.
Plus 145 for Jokic to get a plus triple-double. I'll tell you one other bet I like, Dev.
Hold on, let me give you my lock.
Oh, you got a lock still.
My lock, Michael Porter Jr. points.
Really?
I think this is going to be a big game for him. I really do like him to score. I also like the points, rebounds, and assists for Christian Brown. I think that he's going to be able to get himself going. He's the person that I think eats in this game. I think that both of those are going to hit. Michael Porter Jr. and Christian Brown, points, rebounds, and assists.
So a new Woj bomb just came out saying that apparently the betting values were upwards of 10 and 20,000. 10 and 20,000.
Yeah, how much money does he have?
Well, this is the thing that when you hear something like this, here's what you think is, what'd you need 20,000 for, man? What do you need 10,000 for?
He's on a 2-way.
Well, I mean, yeah, but come on, man. I don't know. That is wild. My bet that I kind of like, Michael Porter double-double.
Okay.
7.5 rebounds.
He's at the 4 tonight.
He's at the 4. Probably play a little bit extra minutes. A lot of bricks I kind of anticipate tonight. I think that a double-double's on the table for him, and you get plus 210 value, I believe, so pretty nice.
I like that.
All right, guys, we're going to head downstairs and watch this game. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll see you on the other side.
We all silly like the mayor.